Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live and your weekend update for the weekend of Friday, September 20th until Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. We have loads of live performances, live streams to tell you about. I want to encourage you, wherever you're watching us, to like this video, and especially on YouTube, to subscribe. And even if you're not watching on YouTube, go over on YouTube and subscribe. We're trying to build up our subscribers there. But let's get right to it. I assume that some of you are just interested in the big ticket items. You want to know if there's any big, great orchestral concert going on this weekend. There is. It is Saturday night, 7 o'clock European time, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, 10 in the morning on the West Coast, the Berlin Philharmoniker. Doesn't get any bigger or better than that, playing Prokofiev and Schoenberg. They're doing Prokofiev's Concerto for Cello and Orchestra in E minor, Opus 125, and Schoenberg's Pelléas und Mélisande, Opus 5. That's the one that's based on the Morris, it's very romantic, Morris Metrolink story about two brothers who are terribly jealous of each other because they both fall in love with the same woman. We've heard that story before. Anyway, the cellist for the Prokofiev is interesting. It's Alisa Weilerstein or Weilerstein. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with how she best pronounces her name. She's from the East Coast in the U.S. She's a familiar name among internationally known cellists. Comes from a family, a musical family. She's in a string trio with her father and another family member, I believe, which is based at either the Boston Conservatory or the New England Conservatory, although those might be the same thing. Anyway, she has 15 different albums to her name, for example, playing Dvorak, Haydn, Schoenberg, Beethoven, etc. So I'm sure she'll be able to handle this very well. The thing I wanted to tell you about her, though, is she's doing this very interesting solo project, and I just want you to know about it. It's called Fragments. It's for solo cello, and it's 6 programs, 1 hour each, and it's based on 36 movements from Bach's solo cello suites, interwoven with 27 new commission pieces. And all of this put together in a multi-sensory production, and I'm not sure what that means, put together by producer Elkanah Pulitzer, who must be connected with the Pulitzer family. Anyway, she's doing a part of it at San Diego's Jacobs Music Center during this coming year, 24 and 25, parts of it at Carnegie Hall, and the whole thing at Charleston's Spoleto Festival later in the year. So if you're interested in that, check it out. The conductor, by the way, is a hotshot young conductor, Lahav Shani, who started out with the youngest ever chief conductor at the Rotterdam Philharmonic, and then he went on and took over the Israeli Phil when Zubin Mehta left, and he'll be at the head of the Munich Phil in 2026. So he's mentored by Daniel Barenboim. So that's what we have for you this weekend. If you're not interested in chamber music or new compositions or improvisations or anything like that, you're done. Enjoy the concert. Talk to you later. Oh, by the way, since that's a Berlin Philharmonic, it will cost you €9.90 to view it. That's for a 1-week subscription. You can get a 1-month subscription for $16.90, and then you'll get several live streams each month, and then so your cost per live stream will come down. But you'll have to go to their website to find out about that. And I don't receive a penny from the Berlin Philharmonic from talking about them. I don't get anything from any of these people. That's why we're trying to build up YouTube subscribers, so maybe we can get monetized. Okay, anyway, if that's not your pleasure, but it's Friday, well, what are you going to do tonight? Well, we've got 2 things for you to look at tonight. The first, the 32nd annual Bergamo Organ Festival is taking place starting this weekend and until the end of October. And they're opening this weekend, 9 o'clock European time, 3 o'clock on the East Coast, noon on the West Coast, and 5 in the morning in Australia, if you're an organ fanatic, with an improvisational concert by the Hungarian noted organist László Fassang. And László, you may have heard of him. If you're an organ follower, then you've heard of him. He started out studying at the Franz Liszt Academy in Budapest, and then the Paris Conservatory, and he ended up being the chief of the organ program at the Liszt Academy. And he's currently a professor of improvisation at the Paris Conservatory, which is kind of unusual because they never let a foreigner do that before. Anyway, the first part of this concert is music he would give to a friend who was going away to a desert island. And it's 12 pieces covering like 4 eras of organ music from Bach to Louis Vierne, played without interruption. And he's not going to tell us what they are until the concert starts. So tune in a few hours' time and check it out. It's free of charge. We give you the link. All of their concerts are going to be on their YouTube page. Now, I want to remind you, if you love this kind of stuff, do subscribe to us, because then we'll send you reminders every week, and we'll send you the link, and we'll send you the program of what you can hear if you want to tune in. So you don't have to do all that work. Trust me, we do a lot of work coming up with all of these live streams. Anyway, the second part of that concert, he's doing an homage to a musician whom he knew and loved, Kalevi Kiviniemi. Maybe some of you who are organ specialists know him as well. And so he's going to do an improvisation on the man's name, each letter, K, A, L, E, V, etc. And then he'll also do an improvisation on themes that are given to him by the audience. So and he's an improvisation specialist. He teaches it at the Conservatoire National Paris. Alors, come on. All right. Now, if that doesn't suit you, there's chamber music. The Seattle Chamber Music Society is back after there was a pause after they did this terrific summer chamber music festival, and they were live streaming 2-3 times a week. Now, the catch with them is it cost, not free of charge. They're doing a concert with a pair, Amy Schwartz Moretti and Andrew Armstrong, and they're doing Mozart's Violin Sonata number 32 in B-flat major, and Elgar's Violin Sonata in E minor. Now, that's at 7:30 p.m. On the West Coast, Pacific Daylight Time. So it's 10:30 in the evening on the East Coast, 4:30 in the morning in Europe, and a lovely noon halftime, 12:30 Saturday noon in Australia, if you want to check it out. Amy Schwartz Moretti, she's a professor of violin at Mercer University in Georgia, and curates a concert series there. She works a lot as a guest concert master, and she was the concert master for the Oregon Symphony and the Florida Orchestra in the past. And among other things, she played the complete cycle of Beethoven string quartets for his 250th birthday. I have a photo here of these two soloists for you, which I put together, of Moretti and Armstrong. You can't see it on Instagram because Instagram doesn't get the whole feed. I have to live stream separately on Instagram. So there's the two of them. There's Amy and Andrew. And she has also done Prokofiev and Bartók duos with James Ennis. And that's interesting because Andrew Armstrong has also worked with James Ennis, who Ennis is a violinist. So Amy did duets with Ennis. Armstrong did the complete Beethoven violin sonata cycle with Ennis down in Melbourne, Australia. Armstrong has performed more than 60 concertos with orchestras, so he knows how to play everything. And he's played everywhere from Carnegie Hall to the Moscow Conservatory. So without further ado, I commend that to you if you want to spend $35 US or 33 euros. Now, that's what we have for you on Friday night. On Saturday, if you're not keen on tuning in to the Berlin Philharmonic at 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 in the evening on the West Coast, 1 in the morning in Europe, and 9 a.m. In Florida, in Australia, the Frampton concert series is live streaming a concert by the cellist Yunwen Chen and Xiyu Deng. And here is Yunwen Chen and Xiyu Deng. They're very nice young women, both of them Asian background. They will be playing. Well, we don't know what they will be playing. And it will also cost you 35 US dollars to 33 euros to watch it. But the Nancy Frampton Rising Artists Series is a concert program to promote rising stars among classical music. So Yunwen Chen, she's from Manhattan School of Music and then the New England Conservatory. And Xiyu Deng is working on her doctorate at Manhattan School of Music. So that's what we have for you on Saturday in terms of how shall I say it, chamber music. Then we move to Sunday. Sunday, there's a super interesting concert. Again, this one is not free of charge. It'll cost you about 20 US dollars. It's this group called the New Quintet. And here they are. This is the gang. And I love, this is another one of these groups of young musicians. There was a whole slew of these kind of young musicians who came out back in the 80s and 90s, and they're now all esteemed. But New Quintet is doing it again. And they're all, they play French horn, clarinet, oboe, bassoon, and flute. And what they have created is a kind of a contest where every year they put out a call for composers to compose something for wind instruments, and then they give out prizes to the people who come up with the best results. And I think I have a photo here for you. Yeah, here's this year's prize winners. Anuj Bhutani, Daniel Cueto, Eric Heilner, Archie John, Michelle Lorimer, Michelle Lysite, Eleanor Smith, Adrian Wong. I don't know if you know any of them, but I will tell you this. This is music about as new as it gets. If you want to know what music is being created now, what is our time, that is this music. You know, there isn't any other. So, you know, we talked to you earlier this week about Rebecca Clark, this wonderful 20th century composer, a woman who did not want to be referred to as a great woman composer. She just wanted to be referred to the way I did, as a wonderful 20th century composer. And her claim to fame happened in 1919 when she entered an anonymous composition contest, and she almost won. She didn't even win. She came in second. But the judges wanted to know who was the person who wrote this wonderful piece that we couldn't give the award to. And they were amazed in those primitive times that a woman could write such a great piece. They thought it was Maurice Ravel who was messing with them and kidding them. Anyway, so they have their concert to announce the awards, and each piece will then be played by the quintet. But before it's played, either in person or by video, the composer will introduce the piece. I mean, that's a hell of an event. So it's $20.50 US dollars, or 1850 euros. And it's free of charge if you're there at the door in New York, but you got to pay for the live stream because I guess they have expenses. All right. And before your Sunday is finished, though, I want to remind you one more thing. There's one more. There's one of my favorite organists, Baptiste Florian, Mal Ouvrard, will be doing a lovely concert at Saint Eustache Church in Paris at 5 o'clock European time, 11 in the morning on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. He'll be playing the deuxième and troisième chorales, that's the second and third chorales, for those of you who aren't speaking French, by César Franck, and a cantabile by César Franck in between those pieces. So we've given you plenty to consider, but may I remind you that aside from all of this, there is still the end of the Leeds International Piano Competition is Friday night, tonight. If you don't like any of the other stuff that I've been telling you about, it's at, let me double check the time. It's at 8 o'clock European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. There will be the three finalists in this Leeds competition, and these people are good. They're young, but they're good. They're like post-school starting out people. There'll be a Bela Bartok concerto, a Beethoven concerto, and a Rachmaninoff concerto for you to enjoy. That's free of charge. We give you the YouTube link, and you may well see Access Arts Live in the comment section of that YouTube, because there's a very lively chat box for the Leeds piano competition with people logging in from all over the world. They get something like 10,000 views of some of this stuff. So it's enormously popular, and it's certainly worth it. You're not tuning into something second class just because it's a competition. All right, that's it for this week. Like, subscribe, and press the notice button wherever if you see us on YouTube or any place else. Enjoy this weekend of live streams. I know I'm going to enjoy some of them, and I hope to see some of you there. Whenever they're on YouTube, check into the comment section, look for Access Arts Live. We'd love to know it if we're the ones who brought you there. Ciao for now.